With hurricane season right around the corner, it's time to ask that important question. Are you prepared? Hi and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. On today's show, we have a chance to hear from Volusia County's Emergency Management Division about preparedness. And then Business Beat reporter Joanne Magley shows us a unique way to prepare for another natural disaster with her story about life pods. Urban and residential horticulturalist Joe Sewards takes us outside to showcase summer preparations for your lawn and garden. And the upcoming Memorial Day weekend, Volusia County's beaches are going to be packed with beachgoers. So in the studio, Community Information Director Dave Byron will sit down for a chat with Mark Swanson, Beach Safety Ocean Rescue Director. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Hurricane season starts June 1st. Now, are you prepared? After disaster, emergency workers may not be able to reach everyone right away. In some cases, it may take 3 or more days for help to even arrive. That's why it's important for you to have a disaster supply kit stocked and ready to go. Jim Judge is the director of Volusia County's Emergency Management Division.
You know, right now, today, the sun is shining, it's nice out. I can go down to one of the big box stores. I can have batteries, battery-operated radio. I can buy all the provisions that I need without waiting in line. I can get plywood to shutter my windows, and you know what? They'll even cut it for me to the size and shape that I need. So don't wait till the storm's off the coast. Don't wait for those nasty, rainy, windy conditions. Take the time now to act, to get prepared, and to, again, review your family plans. Make sure that you have your family supply kit ready to go because, again, we've got months and months yet to go before the end of the hurricane season. Anything can happen, and the peak is still yet to come.
Your disaster supply kit should consist of at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for 5 to 7 days. Keep bottled water in its original container and do not open it until you need to use it. If you're preparing your own water containers, purchase food-grade water storage containers. If you reuse storage containers, sanitize the bottles before filling them. Try to have enough non-perishable food to last each person 5 to 7 days. Look for the expiration date to know how long you can store those items. When restocking your food supply, place the new items at the back and keep the older ones in the front. Inspect all food for signs of spoilage before using. Babies are going to need food too, formula and diapers. Each family member should have at least a 2-week supply of medications. This is especially important for elderly persons. Other essentials include cash, a battery-operated or hand-crank radio, flashlight, battery-operated lantern, batteries, a manual can opener, paper goods, disposable utensils, extra bedding, a first aid kit, hand sanitizer, and anything else you can think of. Don't forget your pets when you start packing. Your pet disaster kit should include food and treats, water bowls, leashes, toys, bedding, carrier, medications, newspaper, cat litter, plastic bags for handling waste, and license and vaccination documentation. For more information about preparedness, you can go to volusia.org/emergency. The Great Recession is ancient history in Volusia County, where tourism figures are setting records. Bed taxes on tourist accommodations recently spiked in the Daytona Beach area, southeast Volusia and west Volusia. Tourists are returning in droves to enjoy Volusia County's eclectic mix of attractions, which range from 50 miles of Atlantic Ocean beaches on the east side to shady springs and parks of the west Volusia side.
And the attractions and the activities that we offer are family friendly as well. Think about, let's say, De Leon Springs State Park and the Old Spanish Sugar Mill, the Pancake House. I mean, what a fun experience for families. Well, really for all ages, but for families especially. The kids love it when they're able to cook the pancakes on the table and put the toppings that they want on there. You've got the crystal crystal clear springs in Deleon Springs, as well as Blue Springs State Park, and families just throng to those areas because they know they're safe havens for swimming. And then you've got the canoeing and the kayaking, and again, all centered around the St. Johns River, but as well as within our cities. And some of the festivals that we have here, the activities are all family friendly.
The Daytona Beach area's bed tax revenues topped $1 million in March, breaking the previous high of $940,000 in 2005. This was an increase of 11.4% over the previous March. All indicators for the destination's future are optimistic as hotel occupancy and revenue generated per room continue to march upward. Tourism in West Volusia jumped 25% in March and is up 13% so far this year.
People are looking for different destinations in the state of Florida, and we're real big into social media marketing and advertising, and we did a lot of that to promote Bike Week.
In Southeast Volusia, March figures exceeded $267,072, up more than 14% from March of 2014. Tourism officials there attributed the increase to record attendance at Daytona International Speedway events, a harsh northern winter, and increased advertising in traditional and non-traditional markets. Overall, more tourists are discovering the unspoiled treasures of a laid-back allure of New Smyrna Beach. Each year, more than 9 million tourists visit Volusia County, spending about $4.7 billion and generating 40% of the county's sales tax revenue.
Tourism tax itself that is collected benefits the residents that live here. It helps our schools. It increases the quality of life for the residents here because these tourists come in and they shop in our shops, in our stores here, in our boutiques. They dine in our restaurants. They get gas here. They go to our attractions, and so it's creating jobs.
The local tourism and hospitality industry employs 39,000 people with a payroll that exceeds $475 million. This is a very busy time at Volusia County's Ocean Center in Daytona Beach. Thousands of young people celebrated their graduation from high school or college with an atmosphere of pomp and circumstance. Bethune-Cookman University, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and Daytona State College and area high schools staged their graduations at the Ocean Center. Angela Daniels, Sales and Marketing Director, said the County Convention Center can accommodate the large crowds for the graduation ceremonies, and the beauty and sophistication of the decked-out venue makes graduation ceremonies extra special for the students and for their families.
I think that it's the arena, the style seating. I think the arena is appealing because of the numbers. I think that you have good line of sight for all the attendees to see the graduates, ease of parking, and obviously the staff and getting the group in and getting the group out. Our staff has been doing this for many years and really accommodating with each one of the schools.
Following the college graduations, thousands of students from 10 high schools will hold commencement ceremonies at the Ocean Center. In all, 3,984 high school students will graduate this year from Volusia County Public Schools. For more information about the Ocean Center or for a listing of events, you can go to oceancenter.com.
Hi, I'm Deb Denny's with the Volusia County Council, urging you to be a driving force for the arts. If you renew your vehicle registration and request a state-of-the-art specialty plate, $20 of the fee goes directly to support cultural programs right here in Volusia County. In recent years, license plate revenues have been used to restore artwork in the historic courthouse, host numerous public programs and workshops, and market the arts. Putting one of these plates on your vehicle shows your commitment to the arts and lets others know that Florida really is a state of the arts.
The United States has more tornadoes than any place in the world, about 1,200 tornadoes a year. In today's Business Beat, reporter Joanne Magley has more on the new Smyrna Beach company that's helping to protect people with life pod shelters.
Sarah and Stephen Dougherty are the husband and wife team behind Dougherty Manufacturing in New Smyrna Beach, which builds life pod shelters. They started their business in late 2013, taking their 30-plus years in the boating industry and using those same principles to design, engineer, and build high-end quality storm shelters.
Well, I came from the boat industry, and I was looking for something to do, and watching the news, there was a lot of destruction in the Midwest, and it just seemed like there was a need for some high-quality tornado shelters. And I knew I could do a good job manufacturing them like a boat out of fiberglass.
LifePod makes shelters for 4 to 14 people, giving families a safe place to wait out a potentially deadly tornado. LifePod shelters are fiberglass boxes designed to be buried in the ground. They have ventilation and reinforced doors and are designed to withstand a Category 5 tornado.
The other shelters that are on the market are concrete shelters that are very porous, hold a lot of moisture and mold, and they're uncomfortable when somebody has to use them. There are steel shelters that rust and are very expensive. And with the fiberglass shelter, it's very clean. It's a great material to be buried underground. And our shelters are different in that we build them with a high level of quality, like you would see in a high-end powerboat.
The company produces 250 shelters and ships to mainly Midwestern states, areas prone to devastating tornadoes. A typical shelter installed costs about $7,000 to $8,000.
The largest shelter is a 14-person shelter, and that's good for a small business, a convenience store, something like that. Some places will install 2 of the shelters. We've had a fire station install 2 shelters. And we're designing and currently tooling up for a large shelter that would work for schools.
Storm shelters aren't the only products by Dougherty Manufacturing. The company also builds aluminum truck bodies and manufactures parts for other companies. Dougherty Manufacturing employs 30 people, and while the company is only a year and a half old, the owners are optimistic.
We're definitely looking forward to expanding. This is kind of an embryo of a company right now, and we're just getting started and getting warmed up. We're signing dealers and trying to get a name out there. And we're hoping next year we'll be doing 3 times the volume of this year.
For the Business Beat, I'm Joanne Magley.
With summer approaching, now is the time to start fertilizing your lawn. Our horticulture expert, Joe Sewards, has some very important information you need to know about the Volusia County Fertilizer Ordinance, which prohibits applications of nitrogen and phosphorus to turf grass between June 1st and September 30th.
Hi, I'm Joe Sewards and welcome to Horticulture Today. Today we're going to talk about the fertilizer ordinance and how you can prepare your lawn for the summer months in light of the new Volusia County fertilizer blackout. As you recall, last year, Volusia County Council passed an ordinance prohibiting the application of nitrogen and phosphorus to turf between June 1st and September 30th. Turf grasses need fertilizer to stay healthy in most cases. Since we are unable to apply nitrogen and phosphorus to turf grass between June 1st and September 30th, here's what you homeowners can do. Fertilize now. You want to use a slow-release fertilizer, something that contains 50% slow-release nitrogen, as well as potassium and minor elements. These are things that can help keep your lawn green and healthy during the summer months, especially if it has slow-release nitrogen. That will provide nutrition to the lawn during the 4 months you are unable to apply nitrogen. Phosphorus is rarely needed in Florida turf grass. The only way that you know whether or not you need phosphorus is to take a soil test, which I recommend very highly. Take a soil test. Know what your soil is deficient or abundant in the way of nutrients, and fertilize according to what you've learned from the soil test. You can bring soil here to the extension office, and we can provide you with the materials that you need to send it to the University of Florida for an accurate, comprehensive soil test that you can use to base your fertilizer applications on. During the summer, it doesn't mean that you can't fertilize. Potassium is an important element required by turf grass for healthy growth, and you can apply fertilizers that contain potassium and minor elements. Minor elements such as iron and manganese, sulfur, copper, molybdenum, boron, etc. can also play a role in helping to keep your turf healthy and green during the summer months. Be sure you don't overwater. Water will wash fertilizer nutrients away from the turf grass roots and can help induce fertilizer deficiencies. So water only when needed, not necessarily twice a week, which is what we're allowed to do. That doesn't mean you have to water twice a week. Remember, rain counts. So again, don't overwater. Mow your grass at the highest possible setting. Most push mowers will go to 3.5 inches. That is a good height to mow most turf grasses. If you have a lawn mower that will go to 4 inches, if you're growing St. Augustine grass, especially in the shade, mowing at 4 inches is even better, but a minimum of 3 inches. Taller grass means deeper roots. Deeper roots mean that the grass is better able to forage for available water and nutrients. So these are some things that homeowners can do to keep their lawns happy and healthy during the summer fertilizer ban. Remember, it's only nitrogen and phosphorus, but you can use other things like potassium, minor elements. Mow at the highest recommended setting for your particular species of turf grass, water only when needed, and your turf grass should make it through till September 30th just fine. For Horticulture Today, I'm Joe Sewards. Feel free to call us at the University of Florida Volusia County Extension Office, or you can visit our website as well. The phone number is area code 386-822-5778, or you can go to volusia.org/extension.
Time to head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest, Beach Safety Ocean Rescue Director Mark Swanson.
Thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, the busy Memorial Day weekend is right around the corner, and that means thousands of people will flock to Volusia beaches for fun in the sun for the first big holiday weekend of the summer season. Volusia County's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue going to be out in full force, staffing the lifeguard towers and doing everything they can to keep beachgoers safe. If you're going to the beach, there are some common sense things you should do to keep you and your loved ones safe. Beach safety is our subject today, and we're very pleased to have within the studio Mark Swanson. He's the director of the county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. How do you get ready for such a big event?
A lot of our staffing is our seasonal lifeguards.
Right.
So we're relying on our seasonal lifeguards to come back from college and back from high school, and they're
get
ready,
here and get
ready
here
to
quickly,
come down
right?
here and get here quickly and
Yeah.
get on the beach and help us with our staffing, because we rely very heavily on our seasonal lifeguards, and they are coming back and they're ready to go, and we're going to staff as many towers as we possibly can, hopefully 60 to 70 towers during the weekend, and anything we got to do to keep it safe on the beach.
Well, Mark, I know that you know, there's been a lot of emphasis on traffic management, trying to work with the upland jurisdictions and so forth. You know, traffic can get tied up.
Yes.
You know, in New Smyrna coming in on 44, it can get tied up on Dunlawton,
Right.
ISB, and on
Right.
on 40. What's the strategy in terms of working with the upland jurisdictions to kind of manage all of this?
We typically meet with the upland agencies prior to the Memorial Day weekend, and we try to set strategies as to alert the beachgoers ahead of time.
Right.
Ramps are busy, which ones are not. And specifically in New Smyrna, we are trying to get message boards farther out on 44 and out on 95 and out on 415 to let people know that the beach is open, but it might be full and there might be some delays, and we're trying to delay people to go to other ramps, to use
Right.
alternative sources. So we're trying to get people out early to say, hey, it's congested there, or it's filling up to capacity, so that they can choose alternative ramps.
Mark, you know, there's only so many cars that you can put on the beach in any one given time.
Correct.
Do you forecast the possibility that you may not be able to allow vehicles to enter at certain points of the beach?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we do what they call rolling closures.
Right.
And we get as many people on the beach as we can safely and quickly. And some of the beaches fill up as early as 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And what we'll do is we'll do rolling closures at the gates, and as spaces open up, we'll allow more cars to come down. But awfully, we always strongly urge people to use alternative ramps.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the major ramps that were through the major roads coming into Volusia County typically are, I guess, straight entry points.
Yes.
And I guess if people want to just go a little bit north or a little bit south to another entry point, it might be better for everyone.
It is, you know, and especially if people want to come down here, they want to get on the beach, they want to get in the beach with their vehicle. And like I said, we're going to make sure it's done safely. And in those instances when we can't get them down in those particular areas, then by all means we're going to offer them other alternatives to where they can enter in other ramps.
And I think you've been making a greater emphasis in recent years on having people park efficiently on the beach, and I think you almost kind of direct people into the spaces.
Yeah, we're doing what they call event-style parking as much as we can. And what I mean by that is they come down on the beach and we kind of show them where we want them to park.
Right.
We want to utilize as much parking spaces as we can. We want to keep people from setting their equipment up between vehicles.
Right.
When people do that, it's unsafe because somebody can be driving down the beach, thinks it's an open parking spot, and whip into that parking spot, yet somebody's occupying it with beach furniture.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes a little difficult to get people to understand why we don't have them set up in between vehicles, but we're working diligently to make sure people understand why.
Obviously, you and your folks will be doing everything you can to keep people safe. You know, there's always some common sense things that people going to the beach that they can do. You know, we say it every year. I guess probably the most important thing is to locate a lifeguard and stay in front of a lifeguard.
Right. We strongly urge people to swim in front of a lifeguard.
Right.
That way, if you do get into any sort of trouble, then either the lifeguard's going to blow his whistle and wave you out of a rip current, or he's going to wave you in closer to the shore, or he's going to get off his tower and he's going to come in and help you.
Right. Now, we talked about, you just mentioned rip currents. For those folks that may not understand what a rip current is and what should happen if they should be caught in one, give us kind of a layman's description
Rip
here.
current is you have a large amount of water that comes in towards the shoreline, and as it comes into the shoreline, when the tide changes, it takes that water back out. When that water goes back out, it creates a turbulence in the ocean, and it doesn't pull you under, but it pulls you out.
Right.
And so if somebody gets caught in a rip current, the best thing we want them to do is swim parallel with the shore.
Right.
Just relax, take your time, don't panic, swim parallel with the shore, and the current will eventually break.
Yeah, I guess I want to emphasize that if you should be caught in a rip current, you're going to go seaward.
Correct.
But only for a short distance, and that rip current is sort of defined, and so if you go this way or that way, parallel to the shoreline, you'll soon be out of that rip current.
You will be out of that.
Don't try to fight it.
Exactly. Don't fight it. Just stay calm and go parallel with the shore, and it will eventually break. And you know, if the lifeguards, our lifeguards are trained to recognize rip currents before the person might see them. So they're on their towers, and a lot of our job is preventative.
Sure.
So they're on their towers, they're constantly trained to look and watch for rip currents, to look and watch for different types of things in the water. So if they see you either getting out too far, they see you getting close to a rip current, they see you getting close to where you shouldn't be, they're going to blow that whistle, or they're going to take the people's flag and they're going to wave you out of there. And by all means, if you need help, you need to raise your hand, show like you need help, and they'll come right in the water and rescue you.
And Mark, we always tell beachgoers, please don't hesitate to speak to a lifeguard. Any unusual conditions today? Do we have any high number of jellyfish or rip currents or,
yes.
or anything
Our
else?
lifeguards are trained, they're beach ambassadors.
Right.
And they're down there and they have all the information on the back of their chalkboard, on the back of their tell what time the high tide, what time the low tide is, gives the lifeguard's name, and we strongly urge anybody, if you have a question, please feel free to walk up to that tower and ask.
And of course, in some portions of the beach, you can drive vehicles. We were just talking about that. And of course, we just urge people to be super, super, super cautious when they're in that vehicle.
Absolutely. When you're in that traffic lane, we want you to pay strict attention to the traffic lane.
Which is,
keep your
the speed limit is what, 5 miles an hour?
The speed limit is 10 miles an hour, and we strictly enforce that speed down on the beach. We have laser radar guns, and we have some speed signs, and we're going to do whatever you have to do to make sure it's safe. But when you're in that traffic lane, have your headlights on, your windows down, and no texting while you're driving. And we just want continuous attention to the path of the road, because we never know if somebody's going to run in front of you.
And Mark, if you have little kids, I don't know that you can squeeze those hands tight enough if you're crossing.
Absolutely. If you're walking with a child adjacent to the traffic lane, we want you to hold on to their hand tightly. Watch them. Make sure you educate them to look both ways before they cross in front of the. But don't obviously not walk in front of a vehicle, but just walk across safely like would you cross any other street.
Right, and certainly not run back and forth.
No, not back and forth through the traffic lane. A lot of people will take their items and they'll set them up east of the traffic lane, down close to the water, and that way you don't have to worry about your children running back and forth.
And of course, one of the other things, Mark, and this is something you and your folks have done the last couple of years, you've come up with this identification bracelet that the little kids can put on, and that helps identify them in case they should happen to get separated.
That's correct, and they're called rescue bracelets, and the acronym is RESQ, and what that means is reuniting everyone safely and quickly. We took that to a different level this year. Initially, the program was introduced to me by one of my officers, and she came in and pitched the plan, and we enacted that a couple years ago. But we've taken a different level this year, as now we've included the hotels in our distribution. So we've given the bracelets to the hotel owners, and at the time that the parents check in, if they have children, they'll be able to request those bracelets then. They'll be able to put them on the child with their phone number, cell phone number on there, and in case they get separated from their parents down on the beach or on the hotel property, there's a number that somebody can call to get them reunited again.
So if you're going to the beach and it's a nice sunny day out there, you want to drink plenty of liquids.
Stay hydrated, absolutely.
Stay hydrated, use sunscreen lavishly, and those liquids that you're drinking on the beach are not supposed to be alcoholic.
That's right. Alcohol will cause dehydration, and it's not permitted on the beach anyway. So drink plenty of water. We recommend that you use a minimum of an SPF 30 type of sunblock. Put it on often. If you go in the water, make sure when you come back out you reapply it again. If you're out there playing some sports on the beach, which people do that, make sure you reapply because you're sweating that off, and just reapply it often.
And of course, we share our beach with our plants and animals. Stay away from the dunes, and it's already nesting turtle season.
It is turtle nesting season, May 1st through October 31st, and we have lighting requirements, and also if you see a nest, don't mess with it. We, as beach safety officers, we also enforce that HCP as well.
Right. Mark, for folks going to the beach, perhaps they want to check conditions or get traffic updated, that sort of thing. How do people get more information?
We have a great beach app that they can go on. They can go on volusia.org, and they can look at information on our website, or they can download the beach app where you normally download your beach app, your applications on your phone, and it gives you what ramps are open, which ones are closed, the tide conditions, the temperature of the water. It gives all that information.
Right. Well, Mark, I want to wish you and your folks a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. I know it's a big event for you, and looks like you guys are ready.
We are. You know, we want people to come down. We want them to come and have a good time during the weekend, and we want them to come back again.
Well, Mark, thanks for sharing the information with us today.
Thank you.
Our guest today, Mark Swanson. He's the director of the county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.